All right, welcome to the WA preview for day two of the Ascot Pinnacles. It's Group 1 Railway Stakes, Group 2 WA Guineas, listed AJ Scahill Cup, and listed Carbine Club Stakes. We're joined by former TAV radio host, probably the second most known supporter behind Joffa at Collingwood, and Geraldton royalty, Taylor Courtland. TC, how are you and how are you feeling about Saturday's program?
Going very well, Kev. That's the best intro I've ever got from anyone, including parents, wife, and grandparents. So thank you very much. Started on the right foot. We were just talking before we hit record, and I think the word impossible was used about this meeting. So that's sort of summing up how I'm feeling. If we're able to, I reckon if we can find one winning bet, I reckon we probably end up in front on Saturday at Ascot. That sort of sums it up a little bit. Massive fields, plenty of chances in every race. Southwester forecast,
Yep.
not too heavy, but typically, and I'm sure your followers know the Southwester there at Ascot, we're looking for horses with a little bit of cover.
Yeah, that's right. Look, the support program for the Group 1 Railway Stakes is really limited. And the Railway Stakes itself, there isn't like, I would say there isn't a clear cut top seed that you would say, yeah, this has its name written all over it. Like we've sort of seen in previous years.
Yeah, yeah, probably agree with that. Watch Me Rock's a funny one because probably deserves to be that horse we're talking about. Gets close to the minimum. I'm not sure if all the followers would be aware, but I think all seven of the last winners, I think it is off the top of my head of the railway, have all carried 53.
Yep.
And then 11 of the last 12 winners have carried no more than 54 kilos. So that sort of is a profile for the race. You're looking for that 4-year-old up and coming, getting in on the minimum, typically a Cerise and White runner over the
Yep.
last few years. We had one of those until last weekend, Cosmic Crusader. But yeah, so it makes it interesting. In years gone by, Western Empire with 58 kilos, you'd almost rule a line through him, no chance of winning. But as you've said, it's a little bit different this year. And with 58 Western Empire, I'm probably going to throw him out as a bet with 58 in a railway, which doesn't really sit all that comfortable with me. But I think the horse is flying, is in the right yard, so all going well.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we'll kick off race number one, the Westpeed Platinum Series Heat 3. For guys that are tuning in for the first time, this is probably the equivalent to our highway or midway in terms of quality horses. It's over 1,400. It's $5 a field. We've got Auto Cruise heading the market with Diamonds and Rubies, Mohegan Ruler 550, Goldmaker 750, Bar Time 850, Desert Dancing 850, and then it's upwards of the rest. Personally, TC, I could not find anything. It's not a race that I'm overly keen to get started on the day in.
No, it's a pretty tough one. Look, I was hoping Diamonds and Rubies might come up a bit of a price. Did my market to 100%, and Diamonds and Rubies is favourite at $5. So that's sums up the race. That's what the market sort of says, as well as you've just read out there. I thought the last start effort was really good. Clearly, there's a little bit of a worry that she might be flat second up after a pretty tough run first up, no trial. Up in grade, barrier number 3, I think she gets a perfect run. Last start, she had to lead. This time, I think she can take a sit on a few speed horses drawn outside her, so she's going to get every possible chance. Lightly raced, up and coming type. So I think profiles well for this race, but as I said, first up, no trial. I think horses can dip on their performances. Second up off that after a pretty tough run, she was able to set a pretty good speed and hang on really well. So I like the effort. At $5, clearly, I'm not going to be betting there. I mean, I probably want around $6 or $7, and then we could have a play. But that was sort of the only horse I was interested in the first.
Yep, awesome. Race number two for the 2-year-olds. It's the Crystal Slipper Stakes over 1,100. Beatty, impressive winner on debut, heads the market at $1.65, and then it's really $7 and double figures the rest, which are all first starters, barring Luz Del Sol at $41 at the bottom of the market. I often like getting involved in 2-year-old races, as you know, trials are my front foot, but there was just nothing that jumped out from trials with this field for me that could convince me enough to take on Beatty at $1.65.
No, probably the best trials leading up to that first run. of any 2-year-old in WA as well. To be fair, Beatty at this stage, so and look, small sample size. To be fair, but went there, won impressively, beat All on Red, who had won the first 2-year-old races here in WA for the season.
Yeah.
So that form's very, very strong. William Pike, clearly 6. Barry number 3, going to get every possible chance like Beatty did last time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said nothing jumped out of the trials. Because, it's very hard to find anything being beat. $1.60, about a 2-year-old here in WA. I'll probably just go and get a beer for race number 2 and probably watch William Pike salute in race number 2 on Railway Stakes Day, and the crowd get up and about like they will throughout the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no play for me at $1.65. If someone was talking to me wanting to put this horse into a multi, I probably wouldn't talk them out of it, but not for me.
Yeah. Race number 3 doesn't get any easier. It's 2,100 meters. It's 66 plus handicap. First encounter, $3.40. Twilight Tail, $5.50. The Johnston and Porter brothers heading the market there. Rocking Society at $6.50. Wenbanyama, $11, and double figures and higher. The rest of them, you know me. Everyone knows 2,100 meters. It's
Your
just
sweet spot?
yeah, it's a bit of a let go to the keeper in Ash's terminology, but yeah, I'll let you have this one.
Good evening to Johnny Bairstow while we're at it as well, just before day one of the test kicks off tomorrow. Yeah, I'll probably be backing Wembanyama in this race, to be fair, at around the $10. I don't think the horse has done anything wrong. This preparation was really, really good. Over 1,300 and 1,400 metres early in the prep, and then strung 2 wins together over 1,600 metres. The most recent one was 2 starts ago and didn't look overly impressive, but I thought once you break down the sectionals and the way William Pike was able to pick up this horse and get him over the top of that really slow run 1,600 metre race, I thought was a really good effort. Last time out in, again, another slowly run race, once we get up to these sort of distances here in WA, I don't really need to say slowly run races, they all are. Over the 1,800 metres last time, just got too far back. I thought hit the line really well. Now, that was the first time at 1,800, so naturally this will be the first time Wembanyama steps out over 2,100 metres, so that's clearly a question mark, but I mean, we're not having to take $3.50 and we're guessing we're taking $10. So I know Brad Parnham jumps off for Steve, but Steve's not too bad once we get out over these distances. A horse that's going to settle at midfield, probably at absolute best. He's going to be back in the field. And if he can run a strong 2,100 metres, I thought he represented a little bit of value in this race. Behind some horses, first encounter's going well. I'm not sure about that last up form reference with all the apprentices race. Speaking about slowly run races, they absolutely dawdled. So I'm not too sure how that form's going to stand up. Barrier number 2 locked away on the fence. Is that going to suit him? I'm not sure. Rocking Society, I thought, trialled well. His 2 races in this preparation I thought had been fair.
Yeah.
Not sure how well he's going. And then Exquisite Taste just has come up with I think, talented enough, but obviously the draw hurts. How far back is Chris Parnham going to have to get and then make a really long sustained run at this level? Is he up to that just yet? I'm not too sure. So can poke a hole in a few of these in the market. So I thought that's why Wembanyama at around the $10 stood out a little bit.
Perfect. At least we've got some action early on. Race
Well,
number 4 over the
no point
miles.
having action that runs a good 8, though.
Race number 4, the 1,600 at 60 plus. We have Westbound at $4.20. The Crimson Pirate $6. Pelora $6.50. Audio Boy $8. Here for Checks $8.50. Max Verstappen $9.50. And Sky Talker from the Horror Gate at $9.50. Anything of here to pick your interest? Because once again, I've taken the easy way out and just said it's a little bit too hard.
Folded arms. I'm in my market at 100%, and I don't feel comfortable about this. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I've got Max Verstappen at $5 as well. He's currently, I think you read it at about $8.50. So at the moment, he would be a bet. Visually, his runs have been okay, I thought. If we rule a line through that most recent effort, where I thought he was a little bit average, his first 3 runs, his preparation have been pretty good. So I'm happy to forgive one bad run. I hope that's not a pattern. In this race, I think from barrier number 9 with the 3 kilo claim of Zeph, he should be able to find a spot up on speed somewhere in the first 4. Dropping back to the 1600 metres might also be a good positive. I'm not sure how good the horse is, but I think there's probably a little bit of every horse in this race.
Yeah.
Outside of Westbound, who I think has a little bit of talent, 14 up to 16 last time in just sectionally, that race was run horribly. They've all come home extremely quickly. So how you take that form going forward, I'm not too sure. And he had the plum run on that occasion, and now Clint Johnson Porter has to jump from a wide draw. How far back's he going to get? We speak about them running on down the middle of the track, so it might be okay for him if the pattern sets up early in the day that way. I probably don't want to be taking the $4. I could entertain a bet, probably Maxwell Stappen, but it'll be just a small play because it's railway day. It's race number 4, and we've only had one bet to this stage, so we're probably getting a little bit antsy.
Race number 5. This is where it starts to get interesting for me. 1400, 72 plus, eccentric nature. Bit of a flat run last start after stringing 3 in a line. It's 310. You've got 6-inch heels, $5. Correct Choice, 650. Angel Undercover, 750. Awesome Boy, 8. And double figures the rest. Starting point for you here?
What did you make of eccentric nature last time then? You said he was flat?
Yeah, I thought he could have done better. I expected him to do better.
Yeah.
Much like everyone did, I suppose. It was 230 come jump. But there was just it was just something that felt like he was just sort of plodding to the line. Like he didn't really attack the line like we've seen that he can do.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, probably 1200 is not his sweet spot, and he goes up to 1400 here, which suits him a lot better. Um, so definitely understanding of 310. Um, the horses that I sort of wanted to touch on all come out of the same race. So you've got Correct Choice, 6-inch heels. They're the next two in the market. And for whatever reason, and this is big on my videos, but I think Correct Choice was a better run than 6-inch heels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you saw Correct Choice trying to get that gap. 6-inch heels has come up on the outside of him, sort of shut him out the gate, and he's had to pick himself up, and then he still hit the line pretty well. I think from 2, Chris can probably settle a little bit handier. It is still sticky. That being said, I think you can sort of put a line through that last start run and expect improvement. And the other one is Awesome Boy.
Yeah.
Didn't come out of that race, but goes to 1400 behind Dubai's Daughter, who we know is quick. And I think Awesome Boy from 10, Brandon Louis, notoriously aggressive rider, so I feel like he'll fire across. He can lead, whether or not leading at this point in the day is the right place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like you touched on earlier, I don't think it is, but if he can get across and he can sort of control, I think at $8, Awesome Boy provides a fair bit of value.
Yeah, yep, I agree with that. He's probably the main danger. I thought Awesome Boy, probably our Rocky Base.
For a sec.
One of the boys have ripped the internet cord out.
Just as you were touching on Awesome Boy being the main danger.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome Boy, as you mentioned, the map looks favourable. If he's not leading, he's probably going to be sitting outside our Rocky Bay, which
Yep.
isn't a bad spot to be. So that's worst case scenario. We'll just have to monitor the first few races, as you've mentioned, as to see if the pattern, if the leaders are running on well. One that I could entertain at really big odds is Trio. I don't think
Yep.
has really been suited at all this preparation. First 2 runs in's just got too far back, and the races haven't set up that Trio can run on. I think this sets up a little bit better, but that would be my only small play in the race would be Trio. I think the market's found those at the top well enough for me. Like you, I'm not too sure about eccentric nature last time out. Small query might have come to the end of the preparation,
Yep.
possibly. And I know Grant Williams has spoken about this horse maybe being a railway horse for next year, so they're probably going to tip him out and maybe come back for a Bunbury Stakes or something like that pretty soon to get his rating up high enough to do something like that.
Yep, awesome. Race number 6, the listed Carbine Club Stakes over 1400. We see Cosmic Crusader again, the topic of much discussion on socials last week and probably for the last month. We've got Asphalt, the horse that just keeps on winning, 6 in a line at 480. Aztec Ruler 550, Yonga Lass 550, and then it's well gapped to the rest of the field. 3-horse race, like the market suggests, or is
Uh,
it a 1-horse race?
what a question. Well, if we could get someone on the line to tell us how the hell they're going to ride Cosmic Crusader, it might be a one-horse race. We've been saying that for the last couple of races. Uh, I, I was disappointed. I say disappointing. He didn't win the Peters. He probably should have won the Peters. His sectionals, the way they ran that race, the way Clint ended up in the run, it was just everything went wrong.
Yeah,
Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
yeah,
He should be in a railway. He probably jumps favourite in a railway if he's there. Therefore, he probably should be winning a Carbine Club. You'd think if he has to go 56.5 against some of these horses who are,
yeah,
say, a run below, maybe some of them 2 runs below the best horses we've got over here in this middle distance type of event. So I know Aztec Ruler was okay last time. Yonga Lass probably hasn't done too much wrong this preparation. Also been a victim of really slowly run races. Getting back
yeah.
was really good in Kalgoorlie. Um, yeah, I'd probably say a 2-horse race. Asphalt,
Yeah.
Asphalt finds the front. Do you think?
Well, it was between Bruce Almighty and Asphalt
Yeah,
finding the front, I think. The thing that I think makes this race incredibly interesting is if Glenn is overthinking last start, which I feel like last start he was overthinking the start before, and he's gone, okay, I'm going to try and settle in the 1-1, give him a soft run, and 9 out of 10 times, and we see it week in, week out, when you're one out, one back, that gap appears.
mm,
It was just incredibly slowly run where you had Demolish just not fall off.
yeah.
And Demolish was 3 wide the trip, so he just could not get a gap. I think it was very interesting, the commentary on social media Saturday night last week regarding Clint. I understand that he would have been a horse in many multis, and he's probably going to be a horse in many multis again Saturday. The question for me is Cosmic Crusader, from what he's done at Belmont and what he sort of did towards the end of last prep, he was ridden in 2 different ways. So at Belmont, he's been ridden for speed. He's gone to the top and he's, put pay to them. Granted, you know, weaker class, but is he better ridden off speed and actually snagged out the back to come with a run, which from 9 could be a possibility, or do they chance their arm again and try and find the top and just control?
I wish I knew the answer to those questions. Because if I was instructing them, I would say go forward.
Yep,
There's Bruce Almighty from 1, Lactar. I think there's a chance he hands up to
yep,
Asphalt and just follows that horse wherever he goes.
yep,
And therefore, there's not a lot of speed. And Cosmic Crusader, you've got your main danger to your inside. You can follow
yep,
him wherever he goes. And I think we would agree that as well as Asphalt's going, Cosmic Crusader's going to out kick him over the final 200 metres.
yep,
And they're not going to go a breakneck speed in this race. There's no real horse here that's going to challenge them for the front.
yep.
You're
Yeah,
drawn.
yeah,
It could end up just disastrous for Cosmic Crusader as well. It could end up 3 wide, no cover if they're not sure what they want to do. So therefore, that's why I hated this race because I have no idea what they're doing with the favourite. I have no idea what the favourite's going to do, and he's clearly the best horse in the race.
yeah. What do you think the market does with him?
Well, I thought he would probably be backed a little heavier last week than what he actually
Yeah,
was. I thought he
yeah,
would start shorter after what happened in the Asian Bow. He started $1.40.
yeah.
And you had Watch Me Rock, who's now the favourite for the railway in that race.
Exactly. Yep.
Um, I think the market would probably be similar to me. We're sort of a little bit standoffish now because we're not
Yeah,
too sure. And he's run these massive figures and massive ratings at Belmont. Where another point is he may be a little bit better with the given the track?
yeah,
Question
yep,
mark. Um, where he just hasn't been able to live up to that now, albeit we've made plenty of excuses for him. That's probably why he hasn't been able to get back to that level as he did at Belmont. But
yep.
if he goes to the top or if he sits outside the leader, I think he's the one. If we could get that information pre-race in the mounting yard or something, and then we can bet. But up until then, I'll be watching. But I think he's clearly the best horse in the race, and I think he should be winning,
Yep.
barring no bad luck.
Yep. I concur. Race number 7 over 2100. It's the listed AJ Scahill Cup. We've got Captain Pluto 240, Opportunistic at $7, Filthy Habits 850, Memory Parade 850, Stormageddon 10, and Bigger the rest. 2100 meters. I don't like it, but Opportunistic $7.
Yeah, sure. $12 in my market.
Yeah, that.
Speaking about preps that haven't quite gone to plan as well.
Oh,
There's another one.
yeah. I mean, even money in a York Cup over 920, and he was somber to
Yes,
say the least.
yes, yeah. Didn't get much luck. Had to carry 60 on that occasion. I don't think he's a very big horse, so it would have been interesting. I know he carried 60 at the start before. He was okay, but
Yeah,
I thought I'd make the excuse that he stayed at 1400 meters on that occasion, which might have also hurt him. But up to the 1960 kilos, no luck whatsoever. But I'm with you against that. And where we thought opportunistic coming into this campaign was going to
oh,
end up, he should have still been winning that race. To be fair,
yeah, yeah, I agree. I
um,
mean, that first up run was like as big of a flashing lights as you could imagine.
yeah, he was
Um,
really good. And then he stayed at 1400, which probably isn't his go. He probably needed 16, 1800 meters second up. He looks to have gone pretty dour straight away.
yeah,
Blinkers come off. He's going to be near last in the run. Is he going to get the tempo he needs? Maybe, maybe not. Filthy Habits controls the race at this sort of distance better than most horses.
yeah,
So, yeah, not for me in this race, opportunistic, but it would probably be good for maybe a Perth Cup storyline if he runs really,
yeah,
really well, because then he can maybe play a part in a race like that, albeit it would be very, very soon in his career to get to a Perth Cup.
yeah. That's right. You touched on Filthy Habits. I think for me, just again, like it's feast or famine at this point. I think because I'm taking on Pike again. Um, but Filthy Habits just controls this, and you touched on it. There's no better horse that rides speed in staying races like this horse, and it's one that just doesn't lie down.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Um,
can do it with a slow
happens,
tempo, can do it with a really fast tempo.
yeah, and carries 54. Um, I think that's a positive in itself. It's first up was 1800, so it's fitter for that run. Out to probably its sweet spot at 2100. I think from 3, Lucy can just go to the front for Brandon and just control. How far back does Captain Pluto go, and how long do I have to hold my breath for?
Well, he's a horse over this sort of trip in WA that probably has the best turn of foot. So that's why he's going to win a lot of races up around the 2000 here in WA. He's certainly not going to be as close as he was last time.
Yeah,
He has to do it with a little bit more weight. Having said that, it was a pretty dominant win last time, wasn't it? There was a few horses in there, maybe a little bit unlucky, but it's a Filthy Habits. I'm with you is probably one that might be able to turn the tables outside of that in that race. I'm not too sure.
yeah.
The other one I thought I could make a small case for, and maybe it's a place heavy bet, is Fear the Wind. I thought the final 200
Oh,
meters
yeah,
was really good last time. Building up, has always been a horse that sort of hits his straps once he's up around the 2,000 meters and beyond. It's going to get a soft run. They're going to start ramping it up from the 1,000, so being locked away on the fence might not be such a bad thing. Get the splits at the right time, but north of $20, it's just a throw at the stumps. I think Captain Pluto wins, but I'm with you. If there is a bet in the race, it's Filthy Habits.
yeah. Perfect. Race number 8, we get to the Group 2 over the mile. It's the WA Guineas. Interesting that we haven't got Luana Miss as declared on SEN
Mhm.
turf this week was going to the race. She's somehow bypassed
Too soon, Kev. Too
too
soon.
soon. Um, yeah, it's the WA Guineas. It's a great race. You've got King of Light undefeated, already the all-in favourite for the Northerly Stakes in, what is it, 2 weeks' time, over 1,800. It's $1.90. You've got Rockfest 3.90. He's a Phoenix $6. Buthelezi $13, and then it's $21 and up. The rest of them, I say it's a great race. Market says there's probably four realistic chances. I think it's a rematch between King of Light, Rockfest, and He's a Phoenix again.
I think so. I think Buthelezi, some of the figures and the format of that most recent effort had the horse drawn a little bit better. How like he's not
Yeah,
going to be able to, I don't think, early on in his career, give some of these horses a head start and run them down.
yeah,
He might be giving He's a Phoenix 10 lengths at the sort of 600, 400
yeah,
metres. If he's going to get over it, He's a Phoenix is a nice horse, but I think he's building the right way. But the draw obviously hurts him, unfortunately. Who did you think was the best run in the lead up?
Rockfest.
Rockfest. Okay.
Um, the reason I say that, I feel like it's probably twofold because it had the right setup to produce a run like it did. He's a Phoenix went massive, like
Mm-hmm.
the and I can see why the market's come for He's a Phoenix early, and it's probably going to come for King of Light race day. Is the times out of that race, He's a Phoenix went incredibly quick, first 800 or first 600. And I was sitting there because, when I'm watching the race on TV, I'm like, I can't really tell if they're going quick or slow. They all move at the same pace. And I was watching and I was like, oh, I love this ride from Lucy. Like, this is really, really good. She's given herself every opportunity. And then you look at the times as they come out and you're like, oh, shit, she went real quick. She probably
Yeah.
didn't rate it that well. But I think Rockfest having to drag back from that gate and it was settled on the fence and then just picked its way through and almost went through to the one of the
Yeah.
two horses in front of it, and was really strong past the post, really strong. I think obviously by race 8, by the time this is run, we're going to have a real clear, concise way of the tracks playing. And I think Chris won't go back to the fence this time. I think he'll try and find some three wide with cover. And if he can sort of get going before King of Light does, and sort of try and pinch it and really test King of Light, then I think it's game on.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing, if King of Light, I know drawn 4 Pike, every opportunity Pike gets, he goes to the fence.
Yep.
Drawn inside of him is Ladies Pro, what I don't think will have enough gate speed. My authority will be midfielder to statewide. It's probably going to spit out the back despite drawing barrier 3. Therefore, thinking of Light has a chance to land on the leader's back. Now, does Hard Solo hold up and hold out? He's a Phoenix. I wouldn't have thought so. Hard Solo was at 1,200 metres last time. Now
Yeah.
steps up to the WA Guineas. Probably shouldn't be here full stop. But anyway,
Yeah.
is a speed influence. So that would be interesting if you tucked away on the fence. But like you said, he's a Phoenix, and the figures and the times that you said, the 6 to the 4 was the real spike in tempo. She really upped it from the 600 to the 400, got the gap, and I mean you don't really need the sectionals to tell you that the horse at over the 200 meters blew out
Yeah.
finally, like getting to the line over 1400. Was 6 weeks between runs leading into that race, so you'd think naturally should improve. I
Yeah.
don't think 1600 meters is going to be an issue. Uh, he was a bet for me. He's a Phoenix in the race, but I did watch a YouTube show earlier on today, and our man Dan Cripps threw it out. So that's probably where the money's come
That's the
from.
money. Yeah.
So that's where all the money's come from. Into $5. That's I marked he's a Phoenix $5. I think there was $9 available earlier on in the day, so I was too smart to take that. Um, so at the moment, the market's pretty similar to what I've got. The one I could entertain at massive odds, who I think's going okay, just hasn't really had a chance this prep. My Authorita,
Ooh, okay.
gate 2, soft run. Like I spoke about, we'll know a little bit about that form around Hobart West earlier in the day. I
Yep.
know it was a slow run race, but some of the sectionals late, those horses were absolutely flying laid over the 1600 metres. My Authority was one of them. Trial before this preparation was really good. I think there's $61 around the place, place heavy bet. But I think the top three in this market are really, really good horses. And if we don't see them racing again on this day next year, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, it's a great call. What did you make of Rockfest, considering that it's one that if I'm going head to head with King of Light, I'd rather take the $4 than the $1.90. What
Yep,
did you think of its run?
I probably agree with that. My knock on Rockfest is I think he might be developing into a stayer. Therefore, second up, is he going
Okay.
to be a little bit flatter?
Yep.
That was my small knock. So I've got him on the third line of my market as
Yep.
opposed to the second line. But yeah, I thought he's fine. He was obviously stronger on the line through the line than King of Light last time
Yep.
over the 1400 metres and 1600. If he's got enough sprint left in his legs, it's going to be right up his alley.
Yep. Awesome. Now we go to race 9. It's the Group 1 Railway Stakes over the mile. Watch Me Rock headlines the market at 360. Western Empire $6.50. That's a drift early on. Cosmic Crusader, Fourth Emergency at $7. Super Smink $9. Osipenko $9. Diamond Scene has been the real go in the last 24 hours. There was as much as $17, $20 bet about Diamond Scene. It's now $9. You have Depth of Character at 10. Alona Merck, 15. Storyville, the winner of the Peters and the Guineas last year, at 17. In Good Order, 20. Comfort Me, 21. Magnificent Andy, 26. Bustler, 61. Admiration Express, 61. Let's Gallivant, 81. Sentimental Hero, 81. And one of the starters in the field is $126, Ginger Baker.
Well, I didn't realise there was $17 or $20 available yesterday
Yep.
about Diamond Scene, so that's good. I thought I'd found one there. I think he can win. I think he's a massive
Yeah.
chance. I'm looking at this stage probably backing Western Empire and Diamond Scene.
Yep.
Uh, Diamond Scene, brilliant ride to win. I think it's going to be 35 days between runs in the Eurythmic.
Yep.
Clint Johnston Porter gave the horse an absolute 12 out of 10. Beat Watch Me Rock home.
Yep.
Now, there's clearly a strong argument to say, with even luck, probably Watch Me Rock gets over the top of Diamond Scene. But a strong 1600 metres where Diamond Scene is not going to do any work whatsoever early. And look, I think it's going to be strongly run. There's not a
Yep.
lot of speed influences, but it's a Group 1. Someone's going to have to chance their arm and put some
Yeah.
speed into the race, I think.
Is
So
that
if
going to
that
be
happens,
Comfort Me?
Comfort Me, I think, leads.
Yep.
I don't know if Sentimental Hero is sharp enough at the mile coming off a Cal Cup to get up on speed, but overstaying trips as a non-speed runner. Admiration Express could probably chance their arm and go forward if they wanted to. I don't think Magnificent Andy's going to be far away.
Yep.
I think there's enough there that might create a little bit
Something.
of tempo somewhere.
Yep.
Typically, it is. Outside of last year, most railway stakes are run at pretty good tempo. And Diamond Scene down in the weights has the turn of foot to win a race like this.
Yep.
After the first up win, I think it's been a plan. I think it's good that he's a month between runs. If that money's come, I'm hoping on race day he might drift again.
Yep.
And if we get north of $10, I really think he's a bet.
Yep. Yeah, look, I completely agree with that. The more I looked at it, the more it just sort of just jumped out. And that being said, like initially I was like, okay, you've got Watch Me Rock, the favorite, and has an incredible strike rate. It's an absolute line finder.
Yeah.
It comes from the right camp. It's got the right setup, pike sticks. It's low enough in the weights anyway. Um, and it just makes sense, right? It's the bet that makes sense. Trying to get it beat, I initially, and I still am with Western Empire. I think, and my maps aren't great, but could Western Empire sit box seat? He has enough tactical speed.
I thought three back defence at best,
Okay,
which
makes
slow
it
run
tricky.
race, we might be into trouble if
Yep.
there's enough pressure on up front and he gets the splits at the right time. I think he's the one to beat.
Yep.
If I was giving the old traditional 4 tips in a row, he'd be the on topper.
Yep. Yeah. Um, the interesting one of the East Coast horses for me is obviously depth of character. Has had the argument that his SP profile stinks. He's been millions chances almost every run this prep, but to get within 2.5 lengths of Autumn Glow, I think is well enough strong to be
No.
featuring here. Obviously, he's been dealt the visitors barrier. I think that comes into 16 after scratchings.
Yeah, he'll jump from the
Yep,
widest gate. Yeah.
yep. But for a horse of his type, I don't think the wide gate's going to worry him too much. He goes back anyway. Um, and as we normally see in the Group One races over here, there's always going to be a 3-4 wide line at some point. And I think he can probably slingshot around. It's carrying 53, so it fits that historical railway stakes mold when it comes to a weights perspective. And then sort of outside that, like Super Smink from 15 or what is it, 12 after scratchings. It's got the sprint to win, but I just don't know how close she's going to be if she can use that sprint and whether it's just going to be one of those flashing light runs like she did first up.
Yeah. She had the world perfect run
Oh
last
yeah,
time to win the Lastia. I think if we're comparing Western Empire with Super Smink,
yeah,
Western Empire was the far better run
yeah,
and now draws better, probably settles in front of Super Smink. And just those two comparing weights are on the same weight terms.
yeah,
Western Empire gives her 2 kilos from weight for age, and now the way the weights have ended up, it's 58 v 56. So I was a little bit harsh on Super Smink in my market.
yeah,
I just thought with even like Western Empire beats at home.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I
over
agree with it.
1,600 meters, the way that preparation is sorted out. The other one that went really massive last time was Osipenko.
Yeah.
Carried
Okay. Yep.
62 in a little dance, rated really highly. Wasn't an overly strong race. So the fact that the horse was able to sprint with 62 kilos went massive. The caveat on that is it was a soft 7 track. He's had
Yep.
21 goes on a good track for 1 win. And
Yep.
now it comes up with barrier 17 with the field of 20. So you'll come in a couple, but
Yep.
like the argument with depth of character is going to need a heap of luck.
Yep.
And whether or not he's able to reproduce that rating on a good track, that's clearly a question mark. But the horse is going well.
Yep.
Chris Waller's obviously travelled a horse over here to win a railway stakes
Yeah. That's right.
before, a while ago now, but
Yep.
and it hasn't been 52 degrees when the horses have landed this week, which obviously helps them as well, standing in a paddock, which they usually have to do.
Yep.
So I think it's an intriguing race. I'm not sure we've got the absolute superstars at the top of the market in the railway stakes, which has
No.
seemed to be unfortunately a little bit of a trend over the last few years, certainly a handful of
Yep.
years. But like we said, I'm with Western Empire and Diamond Scene. I think they'll be my two plays in the race.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if there's a knockout. I don't know if there's one at really big odds that might be able to surprise.
No, I don't think there is. I mean, if Diamond Scene had stayed 20s, then it probably would have been the
Yeah,
knockout.
true.
um, but yeah, for me, it's Western Empire on top. Billy Egan's obviously had success with the horse before in last year's Gold Rush,
Yeah,
and it killed him on that occasion. I think if he can potentially, and if there's anyone in the Grant and Alana Williams camp that's listening, maybe tell maybe tell Billy to just edge off the fence early, to just take that sweat of having to get a gap out of the equation. He's a big enough horse to get people to move out of his way. And I think that first up run, I mean, I after that first up run said, "Oh, this is a railway run, if any." And then there was the talk that maybe it was Winterbottom into Gold Rush, but I imagine their plan this time is railway into Gold Rush. Did you agree?
yeah, they might even step up in distance. I think. I think
Okay.
they've sort of. If you take out his runs over 1,200 meters since he's come back to Grant and Alana, his form is excellent.
Yep.
He's running, I think, one Winterbottom and one Walker or one Joey.
Yep.
They tried to really freshen him up over 1,200 meters, and it's just, unfortunately, it's not him. He's
Yep.
much better at 14, as we saw fresh, 1,600 meters. He gets in this pretty well weighted. I think we all thought he was going to be carrying 59, 59 and a half,
Yeah.
the way it was going. And he's probably going to improve to an orderly weight for age 1,800 meters.
Yep.
Whether or not they push on to 21 of the Van Heemps at weight for age, I'm not too sure. They might even, the way he's going. I believe he's as sound as he's ever been
Yep.
from the stable. So whether or not they do go back to a gold rush from an 1,800 metres, freshen him up that way, like within
Yep.
a week, I'm not too sure. But I think he's hard to beat Saturday. I
Yep.
think his next run after that at 1,800 metres, he's going to be hard to beat again.
Yep. I just want him to reproduce his first railway win. Be nice.
Well, that'll be a nice watch. That's over at the 400 metres.
Race number 10, closing out the program. It's a 66 plus handicap over the 1,200. We've got Smooth Chino going for 5 in a row and to keep his 100% record intact at 270. Smooth Mover 480 with the booking of Tim Clark certainly raises an eyebrow. You've got Scully at 950, Arya Rido 11, and double figures the others. Could this be the Quaddy Injector?
The Quaddy Injector. So you're
Yep.
outside the favourite, are you talking about?
Yes.
Well, I hope so, because I've got one I can throw out at 41s.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit longer than mine. But
Californication.
oh, okay. Yep.
Real left field.
Yep.
Last time in work, with first up, no trial of 100 days, I thought was good.
Yep.
I got well off them. I think at the 600, still had about 8 lengths to make up. Closing sectional was really good. Before that, had 2 runs there at Pinjarra and Belmont. We did race at Belmont in the winter sometimes, Kev.
Yep.
Just put a line through that prep. Something must have gone wrong. The horse didn't come back. Form prior to that was okay. I think
Yep.
at his absolute best, he can play a part.
Yep.
And at $41 in a race, I thought was pretty tough. I think they're pretty well found at the top of the market. So just to throw up the stumps with him at $41, if they're really making ground down the middle of the track, midfield at absolute best, he'll be probably just off midfield, making a run down the middle of the track. That's the one I could entertain in the last. If we got that up in the last on Railway Day, yeah, look out, Stone Marvelous.
The one that I'm going to throw out, and I'll say this, Smooth Chino's done absolutely nothing wrong.
No.
It's absolutely warranted to be 270. The one at odds from Barrier 2, Nobility.
Yep.
I think at $26, Zephyr just goes straight to the top. And we know, I mean, this like last prep, that horse just turned a corner, did it not?
Yes.
And
Should lead this race.
It should lead and should lead comfortably. I think coming to the turn, I'd really like Zephyr to really give him the slip and say, all right, you've got 350, 400 meters to catch me. And see if they can. It's obviously going to give Smooth Chino the passage up along the fence. But I think at $26 and $5.50, where it'll probably be the only horse leading, depending on what Sean O'Donnell does above on Deal Her In from 15. Sorry, not 15. There'll be a few scratchings. It'll be what, 12.
Yeah, from why the horses.
Oh yeah,
played a few
13.
Played a few tricks this preparation.
Yeah, and like as much as I love Sean O'Donnell, he's not the most aggressive rider. Obviously, this particular horse has had 1,000,001 gear changes in for Saturday. Crossover, noseband off, earmuffs first time, earmuffs pre-race only off first time, Norton bit first time. They're throwing everything at it. I could see them probably not trying to work their way across, and if they do, I think Nobility already have the race under control, and give a real big sight at big odds.
Yeah.
What do you do with Smooth Mover? It's got the talent.
Yeah, it clearly goes best at Ascot, so good tick. I don't think it liked the track conditions last time in work. Still ran okay, some okay races.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best version. I think we were thinking Smooth Mover if everything went right, might be lining up in a weight for age race next week over
Ex
1,200 meters.
exactly right.
Um,
And you look
hasn't
at
come
it,
to fruition.
what was it? First up this prep is when, no, second up this prep went head to head with Cosmic Crusader.
Mm,
And I'm pretty sure it opened short favorite and Cosmic
yeah,
Crusader was plummeted. So there's a lot of respect for the horse, but yes, I, carry on. Sorry I interrupted you there, but
no, no,
um,
you make some good points. Yeah, I'm not sure. I probably want to see Smooth Mover. If we see the best version, he might just be an Ascot good track horse, and
yep,
then we can sort of pin him as that. Um, Smooth Chino, I think the weight was the worry for me.
yeah,
I know he's the class runner in this race, and as you mentioned, he's done nothing wrong going to get a plum run. 60 and a half, it's a good horse's weight, so he's going to have to do that. Second up. Um, Cashel Palace, I thought trialled well. I don't know why that trial was a month ago though. So there's clearly been
yep,
some sort of a setback there. Trialled really impressively, is around that $20 mark. And then the other one that rated quite well in lower class, it was a class three at Northern. It was Magnique.
yep,
Needs to stretch out to the 1,200 meters, but is possibly another horse that they might try their hand and throw forward as well. Sit outside Nobility and try to hold on from there. But question mark around getting out to the 1,200 meters. But just keep an eye on Magnique for this race. But um, I know there's a $2.50 favourite, but Mike Waddy's going to be pretty wide in the last leg.
yep. Yeah, I completely agree. I'll be going the way of Nobility. I think it's a great 1 by 4. Normally it's 1 by 3, but
One by
I think
four.
1 by 4 plays heavy. I think if Zephyr can just hold on, it'd be fantastic. That being said, it would be no disappointment to see Smooth Chino win because tell you what, the Winterbottom next week doesn't look like we're going to get a full field. Could Indiana
Oh,
Winer throw her hand
she's short. Nah,
if he runs really well and puts them away under the
possibly in
60?
any other year, but I'm sure, and I hope Indiana saw Joker's Green last week. I'm sure she would have seen him.
Yeah,
He's pretty good.
he goes okay.
He goes okay. He'll win an Everest, Kev, next year. Yeah, next
Yeah,
year.
next year, yeah. Well, I mean, there was again, there was some chatter that you'd throw him over in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Well, let's calm down first. Let's just get to
That's
the other side of this country.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, really, really tough card. That wraps it up. But the first half of the card is pretty quiet. I think there'll be a number of beers consumed early on, and then we can start getting turnover up later on.
Yeah,
Um,
well, usually go hand in hand. A lot of
yeah,
beers
that's
and
it.
turnover.
Yeah, that's right. Any particular standouts for you on Saturday, TC?
Just that two bet play in the railway. I think I'll be having Western Empire and Diamond Scene backing them both. Probably waiting now with the support for Diamond Scene. I think gets back out
Yeah,
to double figures. I think Western Empire around that $6.57 mark. I think is a good bet. Race number three was it Wembanyama? I think is
yeah,
at $10 each way. We can play that horse question mark around the 2,100. But if he does get it, should be pretty hard to beat. And outside of that, we've just thrown out a few plays at bigger odds, but I think he's a Phoenix is probably the bet in the WA Guineas. Hopefully, Lucy can find the top and give another kick at about the 400-meter mark, and we hold our breath again
that's it.
until
I feel
Pike
like
gets the split and chases us down.
it feels like it's going to be a day full of holding breaths for that last 100. You'll know where you stand because the crowd will just roar and you'll be able to hear it. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, look, for me, race 8, the WA Guineas, I'm happy to get involved with He's a Phoenix and Rockfest. Race number 9, the Railway Stakes, Western Empire for me, I think 650 now. I just expect them to come for it again. Um, and race number 10, Nobility. I'm happy to play that as a big value way to end out the program. So if I can go 3 for 3 to close out the program, that'll be all
yeah. Look, yeah. I'll be coming to find you to get a white claw.
right. Happy days. All right. Thanks, TC. Really appreciate it. And hope you're working in your golf game in your time off.
Not just yet. No, not yet. Twins sort of put a stop to that.
No, that's right. That's right. All right, really appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll catch up on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Your boy.
Yeah.